going on, you geriatric Jerry Springer files? Welcome to Grunt Speak.
Live from the lair!
I'm Blake the Toxic Male. That's the Rotund Revenger, and this is Grunt Speak Live. What's going on?
And today we got one hell of a subject for you.
Yes, we do. We have one hell of a guest as well.
We actually have a legitimate recruiter who is in the business of finding foolish mortals to serve in the military under this crazy administration.
Yeah. Under the woke whackers, or whatever the hell they're going to call them.
The wacky woke idiots.
The wacky Waffle House
of
the Wokey Wilkersons.
Yeah.
You know him in the chat as Philip Oliver Holes.
I like it.
Welcome to the chat, good sir.
Hey, how you guys doing tonight? Thank you so much for having me on.
It's going good, going good. So we don't want to actually know what area you're at because I don't want to get you in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
But let's just say you are on the eastern side of the United States, and you're north of areas where snow falls. So that's
he's north of the Yo Mama line.
Yeah, he's north of the Yo Mama line. There's about 11 states there. He's in one of them.
I know your mama. Tell her I said hi.
That explains why you got herpes now. Shit.
I yawned and my lip cracked, man. Well, come on.
Sure.
That's
just like the gay cruise.
That's messed
Somebody set you up.
Yeah, I know.
So how long have you been watching the channel?
I've been on about 2 years now. When I came home from my deployment at the end of 2020, my cousin Eric had shown it to me, and it's been game over since. Like I said, I'd get bored, put on the episodes. Watch you guys live. I'll watch your old stuff. I watched your very first episode where we learned that you were dyslexic. Sometimes I get drunk. I was just like, oh, let's watch the Crazy Drunk Uncles to be one of them.
Hey, it really does kind of feel like you've stumbled onto a really awkward conversation at a bar.
Yeah.
If you stumble in and you don't get the introduction of the show, people just be like, I'm not sure what's going on. But you know what? But it goes well with
I know how to recover and keep running. So even if I stumble into an awkward conversation.
So how long has your cousin been watching it?
Probably about 3 years. So he was a little bit before me. He started watching before I had deployed. I really didn't gather traction until I was overseas. Because I just didn't think about it. And once I had blown out my shoulder, they did put me on missions for a while. As you guys know, I am an 88 Mike, so we were running shit all over the Middle East for Special Forces, the Navy, Air Force, Army, you name it. We were hauling for them. So
that's cool. Shit's gotta move around. That's the way it goes.
We've been doing
nothing happens until something moves.
Yeah, we've been
out of the Transportation Corps.
Yeah, we've been doing this since 2012. I mean, the ridiculous concept.
Yeah, it was that was when we started filming episodes, but then we started releasing everything in 2013. So it's been over 10 years now.
Yeah, and we started with the second-class citizen videos, roughly 2009.
Yeah, that was the transition from the pain mind into the fuck it, let's get fucked up.
So I won't lie to you guys, I didn't see that till recently. Last year when Pops went and did that symposium in I think it was Florida. And that shit fucked me up a little bit. I didn't see this before. I was a little drunk that night too, so I might have been in my feels a little bit. But I was like, damn, I didn't realize that First Sergeant Pop had been through this type of shit.
Yeah, it almost got me, man.
Yeah, I've had some awkward conversations over that film. Because we took it to a bunch of film festivals. We placed high in a bunch. We won one. And I'd be, the screening's finished. We're taking a break. Going to the bathroom, and I'm like, do. Somebody comes up next to me with tears still drying on their cheeks. I just want you to know, man, that's great.
I'm pissing here.
I'm pissing. Meat Gazer!
Could you stay in the hall?
Before there was a Meat Gazer box, there was a Meat Gazer.
Timing is everything.
Yeah, the Meat Gazer box.
Hear that? Get out of here.
Yeah.
We should have an actual Meat Gazer box. We could just put dudes' names in it.
Well, to be fair, before there's any of us, it was Ace Ventura. He did it in the Ace Ventura movie with the dolphins.
Alrighty then.
Yes, he did.
Alrighty then.
So, like a glove.
How long have you been a recruiter?
So I'm coming up on 1 year right now.
All right, so you're a noob.
I was down at Fort Knox for my ALC as a 88 Mike. So I got my staff sergeant. They're like, hey, you got to go to school. I did it. I sat around. I'm like, this is kind of good money on active. Let me talk to my friend who's a recruiter and ask, what do I got to do? So I started officially March 15th as a recruiter, helping out with what the recruiters had needed, driving people, whatever. And so I didn't officially become a recruiter active the whole night until August 1st.
All right.
And I hit the ground running, and I got people in left and right on my first 2 months.
You are aware that recruiting, before they made the changes, I think was one of the leading MOSs in the Army for suicide. You are aware of that?
I didn't know that.
Yes.
That's even more fucked because obviously I'm a recruiter. I've been a prison guard, and they've got some pretty high suicide rates. And I've tried to be a cop one day, so it's like, holy shit.
I wouldn't advise that in today's day and age.
Yeah.
You're not wrong. But where I live, I know the mayor personally. So he was like, George, if you want to come on in and be part of the force, like apply and I'll help you the best I can. So I don't want to recruit forever. This is right now, man, it's a shit show out there.
Yeah, it is. It is. It is. I don't know, man.
And for some reason, law enforcement just loves to look down on military. I mean, didn't you at one point try to sign up for the Stadies or something here?
Yeah. I took the test 3 times for the state police in Michigan. And you give a DD 214. That's like a 5-point, and then I got an additional 10-point preference for a Purple Heart with a CIB.
Oh, damn!
I scored. My highest test score was a 91, so I should have been over 100. Never called me.
Yeah.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah.
So
it's because it's diversity hires. They gotta, it is.
Yeah.
And it was the same thing with like the alphabet agencies. For the 13 years after I graduated college, I put in between 12 and 15 applications a year to various alphabet agencies. Butt kiss. I got called back for the Secret Service. They said that I wasn't a good fit. I don't know why. And then
of course not.
I went for a second interview with the FBI, and they afterwards, like, the guy was a former Marine. He pulls me aside. He goes, "Hey, man, they're looking for a woman and somebody with a law degree or accounting." So, and I was just like, "Why don't they just say that in the beginning?"
No kidding.
Yeah. Where I applied, the mayor's actually a veteran. He was a CB with the Navy for 6 years. So he's trying to get military to fill in the spots.
Well, I mean,
he's a good dude.
I'm just telling you right now.
Yeah.
When the right finally loses faith in the law enforcement portion of our government,
which has been happening rapidly.
I've had a few of those late night wake ups where I was envisioning all kinds of bad shit happening, like whole neighborhoods, literally opening fire on them as they drive by. I mean, it's totally unmanageable.
Yeah.
Now it's just a vision. It might not happen, but it could.
It happens. I could just imagine you, the guy who comes up with all the crazy acronyms, working for an acronym agency. Trying to deliver the kind of briefings you do to a bunch of, like, dudes who've got their shirts tucked into their assholes. Well, we got OPAF here. Like, what? Or O-Beef is my personal favorite. Old, bitchy, entitled, expensive, and fat.
Yeah, we could actually do a whole comedy show on that.
It really would be hilarious. We could do a comedy show just on this. I just got a couple of little appetizers to whet your palate before we get into the insanity that has become the United States military. Mars has officially left the planet. They have unveiled an all-female M&M's candy pack to highlight women flipping the status quo.
Can you
my God.
Go woke, go
broke.
I think Razor Fist may have it right. I think what might be happening is a lot of these companies they're feeling the burn of other companies, and then they think, well, if we flip woke. So what do you guys think? Is it get woke, go broke, or is it get broke, go woke?
Yeah.
Let me know what's going on.
Well, and here's another thing.
I think you go woke, then you go broke. I'm just saying. Look at fucking Disney's dumbasses.
Yeah.
I just don't understand this. It's candy. And apparently the female colors are brown, green, and purple. All colors of the STI rainbow.
Well, they're green with envy. They're full of shit. And the purple is the warning color of their hair.
Well, that, or it's their eyes after you warn them twice not to leave the kitchen.
Damn.
I'm sorry, Lord. I apologize.
Savage.
I'm gonna get so fucked up for that one.
Savage.
I was going to say the same thing. It's green, brown, and purple, all shit and ugly looking vaginas. And
There's always that.
Yeah.
Amy Wharton.
It's almost as bad as a blue waffle.
Here's part. Look at this. This is just hysterical. Until now, the green M&M's character was portrayed as a sexy female with a sultry voice and white go-go boots. But that portrayal is no more, the company said in its announcement on Thursday. The candy company said it intended to better honor its global commitment to creating a world where everyone feels they belong and society is inclusive. Again, it's fucking candy, bro. It's candy.
Yeah.
And what company that has decided to go, use all of this woke stuff that is actually killing it?
How is it ever? It hasn't worked for anybody.
No. And it's going to get even worse because I guarantee you the people in the center who have remained neutral are starting to notice.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just a matter of time before they shut their fucking wallets.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the thing about when you have these companies that put so much stock in this manufactured consensus that they were able to pull out of social media because of censorship. They don't realize that the silent majority doesn't have to say a word to shut their wallets and walk away. We don't have to say a damn word. They're going to feel it a lot later on.
Yep.
And Disney has lost, I don't know how many billions in their worth. They're over $50 billion in debt.
Like $122 billion they've lost thus far.
And
I remember when Pops did an episode one day from Life from the Lair that their stocks went from like $170 to $40 in 2 or 3 days.
Yeah, they got hammered. And they deserve it. They really do. They are literally grooming our children to become victims that will screw their lives up for the rest of their time on this planet.
Yeah. And I guarantee you the people eager to shove the fat pills into their face at the movie theater are not going to give two shits a damn or a fuck what color the Skittles are or what gender they claim to represent, because they're, most of the time, ripping open the package in the dark and then watching the other woke bullshit that's on screen that they really don't care about either.
Oh, you talking about M&M's instead of Skittles?
Yes.
All right, you said Skittles.
Well, Skittles, M&M's,
same idea.
Starburst. Starburst coming out of a diseased gene.
Listen, when I was a kid,
he went there.
When I was a kid, I used to love Starburst.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now it's just been completely ruined.
You ruined it for me, bro.
Not long after that story was told, I got a couple of packages of Starburst, and I threw one to him, and he's like, I just can't do it. Just put it down. It's been ruined for me.
You guys.
It's just like women. He's going to have to take 7 years off.
Yeah. Listen, sometimes you just got to get your head right, man. You got to step away from the game.
It is what it is.
Absolutely.
I mean, I know a couple guys who are professional poker players, and in the past, there were times when they walked away from it for a year and a half, until they got their head right to step back into the game. Yeah. I mean, that's just the way it works.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And you can get burnt out on anything.
Yes.
Even something you love.
Yes, you can.
But
hey,
you want to see what women are doing with this whole flipping the script thing?
Oh, here we go.
Apparently, they're doing exactly what you expect them to do: spread their legs. 5 Tennessee cops have been fired for having fornication on duty. Emphasis on duty. Report reveals woman officer at center of investigation hosted a Girls Gone Wild hot tub party where she took off her top and had vodka and other fluids excreted from orifices poured down her throat. Patrol officer Megan Hall, who is married, was fired last month for engaging in a relationship with multiple men. on the police force. Hall allegedly performed oral shenanigans and sent spicy photos to fellow officers. She's also accused of taking her top off while intoxicated at a family boat party.
Uh-huh.
Well, kids
Whoa.
always line up for the tap. 8 different cops have faced action so far. 5 fired, 3 suspended.
And this doesn't say her husband was not on board?
Not on board with the open marriage she alleged that they had.
Yeah.
And this is...
oh, my God!
This woman is the epitome of average.
Ugh.
And
Yeah,
she's got
she's subpar.
She's got like a 6 head.
Yeah, I mean, that's...
Maybe even a 7.
That's a 7 head.
Got a 7
Yeah.
head, and she can give head to 7 dudes at the same time. You see how that works?
All right, and I'm going to be honest. I've seen similar stories like this in the military, where some of these women come in, they're willing,
Yeah.
young, and they go nuts and ruin careers.
They take notes too.
Oh, yeah. I mean, she got 5 officers fired, 3 suspended. Let's check them out. Here's one. This is Patrick Magliocho, suspended, admitted to having shenanigans with her on multiple occasions, and said that he and his wife were in an open relationship with 7 head.
Uh-huh.
And then here we go.
There we go.
Seneca Shields. I honestly, when I was first reading this article and I saw Seneca Shields, I thought that she jumped fences.
Uh-huh.
But no, this is Seneca Shields. Looks like he retired from the Buffalo Bills or something. Admitting to having oral shenanigans with Hall in the department's gym while on duty. And we got another guy here. She clearly likes, dipping her strawberry.
And this
in
guy's
the
the
chocolate
sergeant.
fountain. Yep, this is Lewis Powell, fired after denying he was involved with Powell. Investigators were told Hall performed oral shenanigans on him while on duty. He later confessed to the allegations.
Yep.
And then, here's her taking her oath. I hereby solemnly swear to take one in every hole I have.
I guess you could say she was fill up all of her holes.
Yeah, exactly. And then Larry Holiday, Officer of the Year. I'm sure Megan would have some thoughts on that because she has a thought after all. Suspended for having an off-duty relationship with Hall. And then there was one guy apparently was getting his pole polished in the gym at the police station while on duty.
That's unacceptable.
Damn.
All right. Now,
You have to go out with a nice polished nightstick.
She went from Juan to Jamal. Damn.
yeah.
Oh, and then the other guy too. She went from Juan to Jamal, and then of course, don't forget Larry.
Larry.
Carl, that kills people.
And look, you are a recruiter. You're going to be tempted by shit like this. You're going to get these women right out of high school.
Oh yeah.
We've had recruiters actually get fired for having sexual relations with minors.
Well, how many that you know of? Because you knew of one. How many have you personally known who have gotten fired for this?
3 people had gotten fired, and then 1 guy was charged with sexual assault. So we had an assistant with us.
Yep.
And you know what they did? Smack on the fucking wrist and moved him to a different company.
Well, I mean, this is how I handled it.
That's what happens, man.
All right. I got put on long tour orders. I think this is in 2011-ish. And I was working for the recruiting station, East Point, Michigan. And they took me out to all of the high schools because I sold hua. Yeah, I got people in airborne, Ranger, Special Forces, all that other stuff. And I found out that one of the recruiters was getting all kinds of crazy with some of these, women before they actually signed up. And he and I had some words. Somebody may or may not have got slammed on the ground. And I got yelled at by a first sergeant and a sergeant major. But once I explained what the situation was, it was just a slap on the wrist. I mean, and I don't know what happened to him. I think they did move him somewhere else. But yeah,
I don't fuck with that. I had a sister that was sexually assaulted, and it's obviously immoral. But like, I would fucking there's no place in this world for that. Like, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I got you. It's dishonorable.
It's very dishonorable.
It's just
It's worse than that. It's immoral, dishonorable. Like you're fucking with applicants, you're messing with minors. Like you deserve to be shot in the fucking face.
Yeah, and you're risking
my
a
opinion.
career for what, 7 to 10 minutes of
ooh yeah, baby.
Ooh yeah, baby. Yeah, exactly. On what planet is that a good idea? And men do that all the time.
Oh,
especially when they're young and dumb and full of cum.
That's like when I deployed, I knew people that would do that shit. They were fucking around on the deployment. Me being a sergeant at the time, I'm like, I can't. Like, my career is worth way more than this.
Absolutely. The reason why I busted out laughing while you two guys were talking is because it a super chat coming from Cliff3188 that sums this woman up to a T. He says, that female officer looks deployment purdy.
That's a battle boo right there.
Yes, it is right there.
Boo, I love it.
All right. Just for you, Cliff. Hang on.
Quality.
That's a quality burn right
Quality burn. But the thing is listen, men are fucking stupid because they're thinking with their dicks.
Up until 34.
I mean,
exactly.
How else do you explain it's a good idea to stick my dick in a hole and not know what's on the other side? If you're using your regular brain, you're like, no.
No.
Because you have no idea what's on the other side. It could be barbed wire, steel wool, toothless goat. And the little head's like, oh, yeah, let's do this. Yeah.
Or worse yet, a goat with teeth.
Oh,
it thinks it's going to get a carrot.
That's bad.
Lord.
The penis comes through, he gets disappointed and starts getting a little, I don't know, bitey.
Yeah.
Chompy,
Terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible.
I mean, that's the only way. That's the only possible way I can explain that crazy, delusional behavior.
I just don't understand it.
It's amazing.
But people who, it's like, oh, yeah, there's a hole in the wall there. That seems like a good idea. No.
Pops, when you were in, did you remember the cadence? There's a hole in the middle or the bottom of the sea.
Yeah,
Did you guys do that back when you were in?
Yeah.
There's a hole let's in the wall, let's see.
No,
I'm cool.
Absolutely not.
I am not dipping my fucking dipstick in any engines. I don't know what the fuck's been in.
I got you.
Probably would come back equally slimy.
You bastard.
If not worse.
You got me.
Yes, it did. We got Bart Fine, bitter old man in the chat, says, where the F is Tiffany Dover? Well, I think she had an accident.
Who's Tiffany
Being completely
Dover?
honest. Well, I looked it up. There's a whole podcast. Tiffany Dover is deleted. Episode 1, Truthers. Needle in, Tiffany Dover is dead. I mean, if you guys let me know what's going on here, I don't know exactly what's going on. All I know is that it seems like a accident.
Yep.
But I'm not sure.
She got coincidenced.
She got coincidenced. She got climate changed.
Yeah, she got climate changed to compost.
As opposed to gender changed.
Yeah, you got
Either way, you're giving money to the man.
climate changed to compost.
No, what Blake told me earlier yesterday with GMO made me laugh.
Oh, yeah.
Genitally modified
organism. Winos and minos. Women and men in name only. We got Alan Flinchbaugh, Officer Hall to servicing with no protection. That's a horrible idea. Bart Fine again. She bent over so they could drive.
Nice.
Pull on that emergency brake handle, gentlemen. It's a bad idea. So,
if you want to do some downhill skiing.
So I just have a few things that we're going to show you guys just to paint a picture of what the modern U.S. military looks like.
Oh, my God.
And then I'm going to turn it over to the two grunts who know exactly what's going on. And Philip Oliver Holes here has been seeing this on the ground as a recruiter now for a while.
And hang on.
It's just bad news bears
All right,
all the way.
fill up all your holes. You have a commanding officer.
First of all,
who is...
I'm not going to fill up any of your holes.
No. I'm just saying, you have a commanding officer
Disgusting man.
who is
a transformer.
A transformer.
Yes.
Well, he's Master Sergeant. Yes.
He's a GMO, yeah.
All right, now I'm going to be honest here. All right, we are putting together the Working Man Survival Guide and Administrative Violence Military Edition.
Yes, there will be a new webinar this year.
And I'm really going to cover how to just royally go after these incompetent, mediocre, or just crazy commanders.
There you go.
And it's really easy.
Yeah.
Major Transformer.
I mean, it can be done.
It's gonna suck.
This is Master Transformer, but yeah.
Well, the military stuff is gonna suck. The webinars, those are gonna be kick-ass.
Yeah.
Here we go. Army investigating soldiers who posed in dog bondage masks. There's one for you.
Wow.
That's not a
Damn,
violation.
Blake, I thought that was you at first.
That's not a violation of military uniform code or anything.
Wow.
Yeah, that's just one. And then you have, you expect a volunteer military to sign up and protect their country out of patriotism while you actively encourage an education system that says the country, our identities as white males are complete trash. And then you don't give them food.
Oh, yeah.
Food insecurity among members of the armed forces and their dependents.
This is nothing new. This has been going on since the 70s. I mean,
probably I was going to say before Pops got in, yeah.
I mean, one of the main reasons they brought the commissaries on post and they took away the taxes because all of the food used to be subsidized to the point it was really, really affordable.
Yeah.
All right. And they changed the pay. They screwed all that up. But, yeah, I mean, this is nothing new.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, I mean, if you want to have a professional military, right, you want people to enlist to serve in that military, you need to compensate them better so this doesn't happen. I've already done the math. A dirtbag right out of high school could walk down the block, get a job flipping burgers at McDonald's for $15 an hour. And he will out-earn a soldier who enlists by roughly $400 to $500 a month. He only has to work 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. He doesn't have to worry about risking his life, getting hurt, or anything like that. Unless you need the college education and you need the GI Bill, I highly advise you not to enlist in the military in any way, shape, or form, especially after we saw the whole jab and slab going on. They literally want you to volunteer so they could turn you into a guinea pig.
Yep.
Don't do it. And I understand this is your job, and I'm talking against it. I got it, but there will always be dudes.
I agree, though.
There will always be dudes who want to put bullets in people. You just got to find them, make them pass all the crap, and just send them where they need to go to learn how to do that. I got it.
Yeah,
it blows my mind, man.
No, I agree. Like these guys are getting paid, fucking pennies on the dollar compared to you come in as an E1, you're going to make between $26,000 and $28,000, which I can make the same thing flipping a frickin' burger, like you said, Pops.
Yep.
And the only benefit is you're right. You get a college like the GI Bill, or you get the free health care. But even then, it still could be a fucking pain in the dick.
Yeah. Well, the free health care is, I've seen military health care, and there's a reason why it's free.
Hey, you got a stub toe. Best we can do is kill you.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. And you were saying too, like, unless you need to go to college, why would you even want to do that now? Because of the wokeness and diversity training that you're getting in the military, you're going to get a dose of it there, and then you're going to go to college, and it's going to be saturated in everything you learn.
That's right. You need to just go to a trade school, and you'll be making more money than they will. It'll take them about 5 to 8 years to match you in the amount of money that you will make working a trade.
Yep.
And you will not be saddled with all of the debt that these stupid idiots have.
Yeah, exactly. And I agree with that wholeheartedly. Like my buddy who's the mayor where I live, same thing. He was a pipe fitter before he was the mayor, making $147,000 a year. No college degree, nothing. He busted his ass, got over the hump. He didn't use his GI Bill. He gave it to his wife. And
mistake.
And then he gave, what was that?
Big mistake.
He said big mistake.
No, but I mean they've been together for over 20 years, and she's making like there you go. But she's making $120,000 herself as a like some type of cardiac something. She's in the medical field.
Yeah.
They've been together for 20 plus years, and
still
so
no guarantee. I gotcha.
Yeah. I mean, they're in their 50s now, so if anything happens now, something really fucking wrong.
Well, somebody probably will die.
Yeah.
That's pretty much.
Once you're at that age, you can be red pilled and still take the blue pill. If you know what I mean.
Suppository.
All right.
But
So,
anyways, my point behind that was like
the vitamin V.
You know, traits
what
are such a
is
good
the
better-
mission
such a
for
good
each
option.
recruiter now? How many people do they got to put in?
All right, so in my state, we need, like I said, 1,265 for the year. When you break that down, it averages about one person per recruiter per month. So we need about 12 people. And some people are like, when I first became a full-time recruiter, I hit my numbers in September and October without a problem. We've had people who've been doing this now for 3 or 4 years that we call them rolling donuts. No enlistments for however many months. It's a zero, it's a donut. We had guys that were rolling donuts for 7-8 months in the last fiscal year. The recruiting year is August 1st to July 31st. So in the last 7 months before that, this guy was still rolling donuts.
Wow.
And somehow I came in and I was getting people left and right. And then they wanted to fire me because I told someone, get your dick out the mouth.
Yeah. I gotcha.
Well, I mean, I'm sure that it seemed relevant at the time.
Well,
Listen, I mean,
yeah, for him, absolutely.
And especially now, I mean, you guys want to see what the diversity training looks like, especially you dudes out there watching the show right now, because on YouTube,
Don't remind us.
We got about 600 people watching, 520 watching on Rumble. Odyssey's rocking 57. We've got 65 on MGTOW.tv. D-Live is rocking... let me see. It doesn't even say. Screwing me up here. Oh, 18 on D-Live.
We love them.
Which still won't let me update the stream. Got 29 currently watching over on Twitch. So thank you all very much for tuning in. Let's check this out. What the feds are teaching in diversity training.
oh my God.
Men can get pregnant. Don't you dare ask for data. And other lessons from diversity training across the federal government.
Yeah, this is
Oh, Lord.
insane.
Look at this. Asking an Asian person for math help is a microaggression.
Reverse racism
Time out.
doesn't exist.
You're right. It doesn't. It's just racism.
All right, so that's
Even
telling
if
me
they're black.
if you're a white guy, get the fuck out of the military.
There you go.
Just get the fuck out.
This is insane. These are just a few of the lessons imparted to government workers in diversity trainings and presentations in 2021. This was revealed in the Wall Street Journal. One NASA training states that efforts to be colorblind actually limit us. Another identifies the words America as a melting pot and don't you want a family as microaggressions, along with asking an Asian person for help with a math or a science problem. A third lists
Oh my God.
perfectionism and data is king as examples of common leadership mistakes.
I'm pregnant right now.
Wow, really?
So having accurate information now makes you a bad leader in the eyes of the federal government,
That is,
which explains our president.
yeah. Well,
Our commander in Queef.
President.
and they're like, okay. When I was in, we had the whole suicide craziness going on, and we were literally doing a suicide stand down 3 or 4 times a year,
Yeah.
where everything stops. We have these goddamn suicide briefings, and it did absolutely nothing.
Yeah. And now we have to worry about microaggressions. I'm sorry, but if I'm good at something and someone comes up to me and says, "Can I have help with this?" I look at that as a boom to my work. That it would be
That's like
recognized
respect.
by somebody. It is a sign of respect. It's not a microaggression.
No, it is. And now,
No.
now, are they still making you do all of those online training courses once a year, like for OBSEC and computer security?
Yeah, well, so we do that, and now we got the woke fucking training, where
Yay.
if you identify as a male but you're born as a female, until you are completely re-signed, whatever it says in your DEERS is what you are. So we've got guys that could shower with women if they identify as a female, if it's updated in their DEERS.
Yeah, listen, this is just insane.
That's totally not
Get
gonna
the
get-
fuck out of the military.
No one's going to
Just
exploit
get the
that.
fuck out. Oh my
I mean,
God.
I'm all for co-ed showers like Starship Troopers and all that, but that was science
Hell
fiction.
Yeah.
Well,
Wow.
the military's
Come on.
becoming real close to science fiction at this point.
Wow.
Absolutely. At this point, these people are going to donate their bodies to science fiction. And we got more here. Value and center lived experience, the presentation says. Do not demand data in order to accept a person's individual perspective or to utilize that perspective in decision making.
What? All right. So they're basically making decisions based on their lived truth.
Yep.
That could be all kinds of fucked up.
We used to understand that there were three sides to every argument. Your side, the other person's side, and the truth.
Now, they want to add 4 now. My truth,
No,
which is...
they want to eliminate the one in the middle and then claim that two people with diametrically opposing views, one of them is correct as long as their skin color and genitalia is correct.
Yeah.
If you're the...
As long as it fits the agenda.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is not going to backfire on these people at all. The focus on
never.
subjective experience extends to the Army, where 2 separate trainings, one for commanders and another for special staff, feature a vignette about a soldier who wants to discuss his newly confirmed pregnancy. Another vignette collapses the distinction between gender and biological sex, imagining a urine collector who is uncomfortable observing soldiers who are not the same biological gender as the observer. The Army, of course, did not respond to a request for comment.
No, they won't. And listen, everyone
Excuse
knows
me, boys.
this.
Pokemon's on.
This is so. This is more fucked up than 2 dudes banging in church with the priest participating.
Oh my God.
This is totally insane.
Wow.
And of course, where did all this come from? You know where it came from. Many of these presentations came after former Vice President, let's call him what he is, Joe Biden, signed an executive order in June of 2021 instructing agencies to beef up their diversity programming. Such training programs should enable federal employees, managers, and leaders to have knowledge of systemic and institutional racism and bias. Hysterically funny that this comes from the institution that's allegedly full of bias and systemic racism.
Yeah.
The order said, as well as an increased understanding of implicit and unconscious bias. Yeah, we're just going to have all implicit bias now.
Yep. And listen, if you're in a unit that's going through this kind of craziness, and your commander is, mediocre to incompetent at best, you literally get with all of the soldiers, find out if they're happy with what's going on. If you can get 20% to file an IG complaint stating they have no confidence in their commander, that commander's gone. I mean, that's just the way it is. And it's easy to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love this here. This comes from the Department of Veterans Affairs. You see this graphic here? Social concepts. Privilege. You got a stack of boxes. Somebody's up way up, and this person can barely see. Equality. Everyone has the same size box, which is exactly what it should be.
That's right.
Equity. Where everybody is at the same height, but this person's given a lot more. And then justice is just tearing down the fence, because fences don't work unless they're surrounding the White House to protect an illegitimately installed puppet.
But the thing is, that fence represents the standard challenges of life.
Yes.
All right, you're never going to get rid of that fence, because guess what? We don't walk up to a control panel, push a button, and have our food magically be created out of fucking energy. We don't live in Star Trek land. Everything here on the planet requires effort.
Yep.
You don't get something for nothing. There's no such thing as a free lunch. And these goddamn pieces of shit from the no one loses generation are going to figure that out in short order.
Yep.
God damn it.
I don't think there's any redemption for the millennials and Gen Z at this point. Gen Z, you're still young. You might be able to turn it around, but I don't have a whole lot of faith in you at this point, considering that your first order of business now when you get out of high school is either to chop your shit off and form it into something that doesn't naturally exist on your body, or start an OnlyFans and expect me to respect you.
Yes. Yes.
I'm sorry, I'm not going to sign up for either one of those things. I'm not going to partake in your delusions, and you can kiss my ass.
I mean, if you live your life purely for money, you're just a glorified prostitute.
Yep.
That's it.
Prostitute.
Yeah.
So with all this going on, gee, I wonder why you got so many donuts in the recruiting sector.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's going to get worse, because the word is getting out, because there's other channels that talk about a lot of the same shit I do that are out there.
Yep.
Now, granted, my footprint is not that big.
No. Well, YouTube made sure of that.
Yeah. But, we'll figure it out.
Fucking Susie Q.
So, you personally, what are you seeing right now with the recruiting struggle on the ground?
All right, so the biggest struggle right now, other than the fucking poke and smoke bullshit, is just the fucking liberal media right now is trying to make out America to be a fucked up country, that because the war in Ukraine and Russia right now, that, oh, well, you might end up overseas there. Like, that's not our fucking war. Why are we set at $72 billion?
I know.
Plus whatever this new bullshit bill is. So they've got everybody fucking brainwashed that you're going to go to war or fuck your country. America don't care about you. At this point, it kind of doesn't. Like, like Pops and I, Pops gave a lot of blood, sweat, and tears over his 33-year career for this country. And what happened? He got treated like dog shit. And these young adults are seeing this, that our country doesn't care about us, that we are merely puppets in a fucking cog, and they don't want to be a part of it. Or it boils down to simply that you should be given everything instead of going out and earning it. And that's what these fucking kids are thinking these days, is mommy and daddy will take care of me.
Yep. And Ukraine has now gotten more money than it would have taken to finish the damn wall, which was apparently an expense way too big to burden the American people with.
It was something like
we can't give them $5 billion, but wait, let's send Ukraine $72 billion plus another $400 million.
A country that's not even our ally.
Correct.
And that up until Trump mentioned that there were problems with corruption within their inner sanctum, the media were the ones calling them out for the, the people who could not see, They were the ones saying, okay,
I did not see that one coming.
Problem with these neos over here, and we need to be aware of that, and there's a lot of corruption and there's a lot of money laundering going on. As soon as Trump said it, though, Orange Man bad. So now everything that we've been reporting on for years is suddenly null and void because Orange Man bad.
Orange Man bad.
Give me a fucking break.
Absolutely.
All right. So in regards to your recruiting,
yes,
what are they doing to soldiers who can't get the quota of one a month?
So they keep claiming they're going to fire people, but they haven't done shit yet because they're struggling so bad that they won't do anything to anybody. My recruiter, his name's Sergeant Becker, he recruited me 11 and a half years ago. He's been doing this now for almost 17 years. And when he was rolling donuts for a while, they're like, well, you might get fired. And he's like, all right, then fucking fire me. And they won't fire people. He holds the record right now in my state for the most enlistments in the time that he's been in.
Okay.
Because back when he started, everybody wanted to join, and he got an award last month for having over 350 people in 16 years. So he's fucking hitting numbers left and right. And then this year and last year combined, he only got 5 people.
Wow.
So they're not doing anything right now. They're going to threaten us, but they're not going to do shit because they're hiring recruiters left and right to try to get these numbers up.
Yeah. One of the
according
things
to
they were doing
what's that?
Back in the day, one of the things they were doing back in the day is they were keeping recruiters in the office for like 16, 18 hours a day.
Yeah, so my coworker, so like I said, I'm not at the same armory anymore. I got moved to a different one. But my office partner was trying to get out at 3 o'clock today. I helped him out with some stuff. And our transformer robot in disguise decided to send out a fucking text at like 2:45. You need this, and this by COB, close of business. The close of business was like 1700, and he wanted all this shit updated. And my office partner goes, how the fuck am I supposed to do this? Like, he was all ready to go home, see his wife, his dog, his grandkids, and now he's got to stay longer.
Yep.
Like they are. No, it's not every recruiter. It's in my company. It's trash because my boss, who's an E8, wants to belittle you, treat you like a private When I say micromanage, like you got to tell him what time you're taking a shit.
Yeah, listen.
In order for him to be happy.
Yeah, you guys need to get together and do some IG complaint, and get rid of that motherfucker.
When I say like he's mentally unstable, he really is. Like the easiest way to describe it is one day he might be way up here and like I'm in a good mood, and the next day he wants to fucking kill us all. And I get it, like we all go through some shit, but you can't use that as an excuse.
When you are the dude,
I don't care.
When you're the dude, you cannot do that. When I was the master sergeant / first sergeant, there were lots of times that I was lividly pissed at other soldiers and I couldn't do anything until I calmed down because I had enough power. I could royally screw people's lives. And you just don't do that willy-nilly for no reason, especially if you're angry. You got to have some restraint. And that's how you're
subordinates. Take a deep breath and level out a little bit.
That's how your subordinates respect you because they see you get pissed, but you don't fly off the handle. You're like, I'll be back in an hour.
like General Colin Powell said, the day that your subordinates or your soldiers in this case stop bringing you their problems, they no longer trust you.
That's right.
There you go.
And if everyone in your office did an IG complaint stating they don't trust this commander, you can put all kinds of stuff in there like undue command influence, targeting. You just go through the command FM, the command manual. I don't remember which FM it is, but you can just go down the list and keep notes of exactly what's going on in your station.
Yeah.
And then you fill out the DA form 1559, send it to the DOD IG. Don't send it to the standard IG at your level because it'll get swept under the rug. But when you send it all the way to the top, it comes down like a pinball machine, and then all of these officers get to see exactly what's going on. And it's hard. It's hard to it's hard to sweep that under the rug with that many eyeballs on it.
Our battalion commander said that this master sergeant's on his radar. Like, it's bad. We had a civilian one day say, "What are we going to do to get rid of him?" And he looked at her. And it was at the USO. This lady works for the fucking USO. And she said it to him. And my battalion commander looked at her. He took a bite of his food and walked away because he didn't know how to respond. Because this guy, whatever, has had so many fucking issues from the very first station that he took over at to coming up to where I am, that he just ruffled everyone's feathers. And like I said, I'm an E6. I've earned my rank. I busted ass to get here. He treats us like privates. Like we are straight off the fucking bus.
Yeah. And you know what? I mean, you're going to have to keep your head down until you pick up your 7, because once you're an E7, it's really hard to get you reduced in rank.
Yeah, it's an act of Congress at that point.
Well, I wouldn't say it's that tough. It can be done. But in my time, I saw 4 E7s busted to E6 or E5. But they royally did messed up shit. Like, one put a kid in the hospital in a DWI accident.
Damn.
One was stepping out on his wife with another soldier, and it turned into a big blowout. Because
she have a 7 head too?
No, I don't remember.
Okay, just asking.
But there were accusations made by her as soon as she got caught. And the dude always gets punished. The female soldiers that do this crazy stuff get a pass.
Shocker. It doesn't seem to matter what industry or business you're in. That usually happens. When I used to work at a video store, Blockbuster, way back in the day, I had a store manager who, at first, everything seemed great. We had a crew that got along. We had virtually zero turnover, which for a video store that pays shit, unheard of.
That's very impressive.
So the regional manager was happy with everything. And then all of a sudden, she decided, haven't gotten any in a while. I think I'm going to nail half my crew.
Oh, no.
It was to the point where, we would do, pool parties and stuff after close. We're hanging out over at one guy's house, I'm drinking a beer, drying off, and all of a sudden I look over. She's sitting on one dude's lap, and with her foot, she's massaging the other dude's cack.
Whoa.
And I'm like, this is going to end badly.
Yes, it is.
Within 3 months, it had completely imploded. What happened to the chick who
got
was responsible for all of it? No, she got promoted and transferred.
Yep.
To a district manager position. Gee, I wonder who she blew to get that.
Only thing she was transferring was positions on the bed. God
That's
damn.
about it, yeah.
Pretty much.
If my buddy Mikey's watching this, you know exactly who I'm talking about.
Giggity.
Wow.
Giggity goo.
All right, so they got you down. Basically, you have to put one guy in a month.
Yes.
Back in the day, it used to be like 2.
And if it's your ex,
so
it's
my
5.
office partner, who was my recruiter, told me it used to be between 20 and 24 people a month.
Yep.
And I remember that when I enlisted in August of 2011, he had gotten 3 or 4 people in that month. Because I remember going to everything that I needed to. and it was me, a gentleman named Magoo, and I forget that there was a girl and another guy. My recruiter used to get people left and right, and he, like I said, he holds the record right now in the state that I'm at that he has over 350 people. He's got Chiefs 54 on several occasions, and now he can barely get 5 in 2 years.
Okay, so you are still suffering from eager beaver syndrome because you've been on the job for a year. Let me tell you a little story about a guy I know who was a recruiter for about 9 years. While he was recruiter, one of his children died of cancer, and this chain of command handled it just atrociously.
Yeah.
So he stays there. He's at 21 years. He drops his packet, goes through the whole process to retire. You know, on his first day of terminal leave, he comes into the office, cleans out his desk, and in front of everyone, walks back to the back room and throws away everything. All of his awards, everything, just threw it away. And turned around, and like the commander was trying to talk to him, he turns, looks at him, and goes, "If you say one more word to me, you're going to the hospital." And he turned and left, got on his motorcycle, never to be seen by those guys again. Wow! I love that story, man.
So I'll admit, when I first came on, I was eager beaver, but after realizing who my master sergeant is, no, it was. Why do you want to work for somebody who doesn't give a fuck about you?
Well,
is kind of how I looked at it.
And he's a transformer, so he's already living in a delusional world. That's a mental illness. Do you think somebody with a mental illness is in a position to make calm, rational decisions over anything?
So what I think it is our battalion commander is afraid to make a move without instigating an EO complaint because he is a transformer. So he's trying to figure out how to move the pegs in order to get it to remove this person without problem.
You are going to have to push the issue with your IG complaints. Because, you know, the IG, when the IG complaint comes down from the DOD, it can't ignore it. Can't. And I've had toxic leaders like the one you're talking about. Her name was Dina. And
was that the colonel you always talk about?
And this woman thrived on tearing everything down around her to make herself look good. She was lividly incompetent, just straight up incompetent.
And how did she deal with that? By lashing out at everybody else and trying to tear them down to her level because she knew where she was really at.
Yeah. And she came after me, and I went Green Beret on her ass. And I had my congressman, my rep. I filed the IG complaint with the DOD. I involved the first 1 star in my chain of command. I sent him everything directly. What is it called? Article 138. Where you can go to your first general officer, complain directly to him about your commander. And then once I did that, there were 6 other senior NCOs in our office that started doing the same thing, and it could not be ignored.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it's going to take, straight up.
Yeah, it is. And my office partner was trying to get me to start it, but I'm like, with me moving to a different company now, is it going to do anything? But I'll still help them out. You know,
I got you. But you know, it is what it is. I mean, the Army is very administrative heavy. There's a huge bureaucracy, but once you know how to massage it properly, you can do all kinds of stuff.
Oh, you know how to cup the balls, all right.
Cradle the balls, work the shaft.
Giggity.
He got a few notes.
All right, gentlemen, I got to take a pee break real quick, if that's all right. I still got my earbuds in, but I can hear y'all.
Go ahead, bro.
I go right ahead.
Appreciate you guys.
All right.
Okay, I hope the earbuds don't have a mic on them.
I don't know. We'll see.
Hey, you know what? You like hearing the tinkle, tinkle, little star, how I wonder
Tinkle,
which
tinkle, little star. Meat gazing mother fornicator.
Hey, you know you like the meat cake, boy.
All right.
Welcome to the Crytanic.
While he's milking the weasel, we have any YouTube super chats?
We do indeed. Let's jump in here. One of them from Jimmy Bones here. This is actually sort of fascinating. If by fascinating, another nail in the coffin of the United States. He said, speaking of Ukraine, you guys might want to check this out. Conservative U.S. lawmakers critical of the adulation of Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky have railed against a proposal to place a bust of the foreign leader in the Capitol building in Washington.
Yep.
Why?
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 Yeah, that's ridiculous.
That cross-dressing cackaholic should have a bust of himself anywhere.
I'm going to tell you right now, if I ever wind up running the show, there's a lot of monuments that I'm going to take dynamite to.
Sorry, he's not an ally. I mean, what are we going to commemorate him for?
Yeah.
Laundering all of our politicians' money?
Yeah.
Let's be honest. It's our money. They stole it.
Yeah.
Put it into a foreign country without asking any of us what we wanted because, obviously we didn't vote to have them do this. They washed it and then got it back in the form of, book deals.
Yes.
Speaking
engagements.
Crypto. Somebody's kid, might get a position in a company that he has no fucking knowledge of whatsoever. Not that we have a president in office who has a kid who did that or anything.
But since they invented Bitcoin, you can move a lot of money around without attracting a lot of attention. It's the jet fuel for corruption.
Unless you're Sam Bankman-Fried or whatever the hell his name is.
Yeah, he will not be alive much longer.
No.
Now the word on the street is there's hits on his ass.
Hits on his ass.
He ain't gonna make it, and I believe some of the alphabet agencies are looking the other way, so it will happen.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh man, so we do. What do we got here? Bart Fine says she bent over so they could drive. The techie at the time forgot Officer Hall equals Eileen Dover. and we all know exactly what you're supposed to do with Eileen.
Yeah.
Van I Am sent some clips. We'll get to those on New Tech. E. Brock with a $50 donation. He says, my fine for coming in late. Well, thank you very much. I think that deserves one of these. What do you think, Pop?
Oh. All right, sure.
We're not worthy! We're not worthy!
Thank you very much. Reaper01, a gunny friend of mine, hit me up.
Hell yeah, amen to him.
Amen, yeah. New orders, pup. Review your training circuit. Do not talk to anyone with a pamphlet. Recruiters are out here hunting candidates in plain clothes. Sign nothing.
Yeah, I know.
And then we have Thumper the Sweaty Fat Guy. I'm listening tonight, wishing I could get a starburst-faced blast with munging. Sent an email displaying my reaction. You disgusting motherfucker.
Oh, God, no.
That's riggers on starbursts.
I know, right? Get a job, rigger.
So have you got any plans from your command on how to step up your game and get more people? Are they trying to sell you on the delusion that you need to work harder to make your numbers?
They tell us well, this is what worked for me, and this is, and they feed us this bullshit, which is cool, whatever. But the times have changed from when recruiter, my master sergeant, was recruiting 5-6 years ago. He always goes, oh, well, this worked for me, and you have to do it too. I'm like, but bro, I'm in it. So where I was recruiting before I was reassigned was really rich, prissy areas. The kids didn't need the money. The kids didn't have a sense of, I love my community. They didn't care. Mommy and daddy are making $200,000, $300,000 a year combined. They were paying for their son or daughter to go to, Ohio State University or Michigan University or Penn State, shit like that. So they didn't need me. And what I tried to sell them on was, if mom and dad are going to give you the $60,000, $70,000, $80,000, how about you tell them, we'll pay for your college, and you could take that and make it a down payment on your house or buy a car or do something. Don't go to college with it. Let me pay for it as the recruiter. And they'd be like, no, my mom and dad don't want me to join. I had a kid, gung-ho, balls to the wall, wants to join. My mom and dad said no at 17 years old.
Yeah. And you know what?
Yeah.
I was the guy that the recruiters brought to schools you're talking about, right?
Mm-hmm.
I literally would have got credited between 2 and 6 people per visit, and that went in the military. Most of them went paratrooper. Some did the airborne ranger option. I mean, they're rich and they want to do the HUA stuff. That's what I sold them, and they ate it up. They did. And then there were times I came across guys who do like, yeah, I just want to learn a trade, and I'm like, here, I walk you right into the Navy office. Take this guy, because I'm not going to put a square peg in a round hole. It's not good for it's not good for the service. It's not good for the country, and it's not good for the service member. You send them where they want to go for the goals they want to achieve. That's the best way to get success. Now, in this environment right now, with the hell, because you're not the only recruiter that I've talked to. I think I talked to I think there's like 6 other guys who send me emails from time to time. And I have friends of mine who were recruiters who retired in the past year or year and a half. So I'm getting all of the inside horror stories and bullshit that's going on. All right. Yeah. And listen, as a logical person, when you're seeing this diversity training, you're like, oh my God. This is not logical at all. I am not falling in line with this crazy cult horse shit, because that's exactly what it is. Right? They want average people who can think on their feet to zombie out and become a member of the cut your penis off cult. Fuck that.
Amen.
That is bullshit.
Yes, it is.
Wow.
But let me just ask one last question before we get to the chats, and then we'll make the new tech jump. As a former recruiter and a current recruiter, how bad do you see this getting? With all this diversity training and stuff.
How bad do I see it?
How bad do you see the recruiting numbers, the military itself getting as a result of all this diversity hogwash?
It's going to implode. I mean, just think about this. We were at war for 20 years. That's a lot of experience. Guys have like multiple deployments. They got promoted up, and a lot of them went over 20. And you know what they did as soon as old Joe got installed? They dropped their retirement packets. And then once the whole poke and smoke became mandatory, even more. There's literally units at Fort Bragg, which are Tier 1 and Tier 2, that are on the Tier 1, they're basically quick reaction forces.
Yeah.
At 50% strength.
Yep.
So they're already combat ineffective before they even go over anywhere.
Yeah. I will say this. The military has finally wised up to the point where they know this is affecting the numbers, because people are leaving service after already enlisting over it, and they're refusing to join because of, vaccines. The Pentagon has officially rescinded the poke mandate as of yesterday.
Well,
yeah, I heard about that.
But the thing is, there's already 8,000 guys who've been, kicked out because of this. They need to,
if not more.
Well, that's the number I was told. I mean, I'm not really up to speed on this. They need to put together a class action lawsuit for all of these guys that got put out, and allow them to come back in, and then pay them back pay between the time they were discharged and the time they allowed to come back in, because it was straight up injustice, straight up.
Yeah.
All right. How dare you punish somebody because they don't want to be a goddamn guinea pig? Are you out of your goddamn mind? Holy shit.
No, he's right. The unit I'm a part of, before I became a recruiter, they kicked out a staff sergeant because he refused the poke and smoke, and they started his processing paperwork in the whole 9. And he said, fuck you. I'm not getting the poke and smoke, and I'm willing to lose my military career over this, because he was at like 8 or 9 years. And then we had one of my office partners who's a recruiter. He refused it. He'd been in for 9 years at the time, and he won the battle because they just rescinded the poke and smoke, and he refused to fucking get vaccinated. And my fucking master sergeant was like, when the fuck do I get to fire you because you refused the vaccine? And he was like, excuse me?
Damn.
Yeah.
And he fucking won.
And the minute he said that, you should have filed an IG complaint for undue command influence. Targeting. I mean, a commander making that statement to an enlisted is absolutely it's unforgivable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to talk
trying
about
to force him out because of his personal belief. This guy is in the Army with me, and his wife is in the Air Force. She was actually one of the Airmen of the Year as between E1 and E4. And so she won all these things, and she refused to fucking leave over the poke and smoke, and so did he. and I'm glad because they both won the fucking battle.
Good.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you know, I mean, there needs to be some reckoning. I mean, I love the military. I love being in the Army, and it just breaks my heart that it's been taken over by a bunch of idiots who don't know what the fuck they're doing, what the fuck they're talking about. They want to forge a fighting force based on feelings.
Yeah.
What is the maximum range of feelings? 0 meters. How much
Up
armor?
your fucking ass.
How much armor can you penetrate with a feelings dart? None. It is absolutely stupid unless you want to fill body bags.
Yep.
Because guess what? When I'm training my guys to go overseas, I don't give a shit about your feelings. All right? I don't care if I hurt your feelings. Fuck you. Because I love you enough.
Feelings never won wars.
Because listen, I love my troops enough that I would literally sell my soul to make sure they survived. And I did everything in my power to make sure I instilled the gunfighter mentality into every guy or girl that I sent overseas to do the job.
Boom.
Yep.
I mean, I bought airsoft weapons on my own dime. I built a shoot house behind the reserve center because I could not get those assets for these guys to train up before they deployed. Like literally, I mean, I'm looking at the numbers and I'm like, wait a minute, we're sending a guy into a combat zone and he's going to fire 120 rounds of M16. He's 50 rounds of machine gun, no heavy weapons, no Mark 9. All right, this is totally unacceptable. No. I jumped through hoops.
Yeah.
I pulled strings. I Green Beret the problem, and I made sure my dudes were all taken care of. And a lot of them are still friends with me to this day. Because and a lot of them are like, you're the only sergeant who gave a shit.
Because you didn't pull a Dina.
I didn't pull a Dina. And that's probably why Dina hated me, too, because I was doing all this shit without her in the loop. And I just fucking did it because I know they'd say no.
There is something about command structure and how it affects people who are not fit for it. When they see loyalty being given to someone they perceive as beneath them, they can't fucking stand it.
And
No,
actually,
they can't.
women are the same way.
I know. Been there,
So
done that.
I've had soldiers come back to me. I've been out of my old unit now for 2 or 3 years. Hey, Sergeant, I need your help for XYZ, blah, blah, blah. And I'm helping these guys left and right because these guys respected me when I was deployed with them. I helped them learn how to get promoted from, specialist or corporal to sergeant, how to go from sergeant to staff sergeant.
Yeah.
And they still call me every once in a while. Sergeant, I appreciate your help. I need this. And without a fucking drop of a dime, hey, I got you, buddy. What do you need? Like, this is who I am as a person.
Yep.
But that's why I fit the NCO mold so well because, no one is more professional than I. I'm not commissioned officer or leader of soldiers.
Yeah, and
I will always lead my soldiers and make sure they are taken care of, they're loved, and they know that at the end of the day, I'm willing to take that bullet for them, or I'm willing to save their life if shit hits the fan.
Here's a funny story. I had a guy, E4. He did 2 deployments, right? And he just would not. He didn't want to go to PLDC. He didn't want to play any of the games. I literally drove to his house with his orders for PLDC. I knock on the door. He opens. I'm like, "You're going. You're leaving in 2 weeks." But Sergeant, I go, "There's no fucking buts. You're going to be in E5 in 3 months. Fuck off." He came back. I built his goddamn promotion packet, and I coached him up for the board. I got him promoted to E5. The dude's in I think he's in E7, and I think he retired in E7. Sometimes you got to do that for your guys.
Yeah.
Here's a fun fact for you. So, I was telling you earlier that the guy that swore me in at MEPSPEC 11 and a half years ago, he was in E7 when he decided to go warrants and then, made warrant 4 and whatever. The guy that just left being the highest E9 of the Coast Guard, I don't know what the fuck they're called, but anyways, that guy thanked him, my buddy Andrew, for helping prepare him for that moment of his life. So when he accepted his E9 as, Chief Petty, whatever, of the Coast Guard, E9, whatever, that my friend Andrew got called up on stage because he prepared him when Andrew was a 7, this guy was a 5. So it's the same thing. That person got him ready, and he thanked Andrew for getting everything in line for him to end up being the E9 for 4 years with the Coast Guard.
That's awesome.
You know, yeah.
All
and
right.
it's crazy how we don't think about this, but that little fucking thing we do to help our Joes may or may not keep him or her in. It may or may not, make them think, hey, this person really gives a flying fuck about me and my career. I want to do more with my life now.
I gotcha.
And we don't realize that until after. I mean, you did it for 33 years, man. You saved 503 lives, like the board behind you says. But who knows how many lives you saved before you did this 11, 12 years ago or whatever, man.
I gotcha. All right, we got to jump to alt tech here.
Oh, we can read the YouTube chats first.
Oh, let's finish up the YouTube chats.
The people on YouTube who don't want to jump on over with us.
They all should go to alt tech.
Yeah,
Fuck
everybody
YouTube.
should go to YouTube.
I'll probably get scared for that.
One thing that I do have to put up here was the video that Thumper sent over with his email. Let's check this out.
Oh, here we go.
Man, I'm hearing what's going on with the military, and I'm glad I'm out. The Cold War vet in me just goes, "Ow! Ow! Ow! Ow!
Motherland!
Fuck!"
The hell, dude?
That was actually my ex-wife hitting the wall.
I was gonna say.
I was gonna say it sounded kind of like some of my ex-girlfriends were screaming to get in the butthole.
It's a very familiar sight. Thank you for that, Thumper. Demaster 12, question for Blake. What is it about the missus that made you decide she was worth taking the risks? How did you realize, wow, she is different, she does love me? All right, well, I'll try to boil it down for you.
She's cool.
She's got cool points galore. She can cook. That's not even the top of the list, though. When I met her, I was dirt fucking poor. I had lost my relationship, lost my grandfather, lost my job. I was rebuilding my life essentially from the ground up. And she invested in me because she had the money that I did not. And then through all of the shit that happened and me building my business and trying to get to where I am now, she stuck by me through all of it. She's even lent creative input to some of the episodes that you guys enjoy.
Yes.
And, of course, she tries to fatten up Pop with baked goods that are homemade. And he's like, you motherfucker.
Yeah. Well, look at this shit. Look at this shit right here.
Homemade Samoas.
God damn it!
Cookies with coconut chocolate caramel. You just lick them and stick them to your ass.
I mean, I literally walked through hell to get to 190. God damn it! But hey, I gotta eat them.
It could be worse. It could be worse.
It could always be worse.
Yeah.
That's just a few things. Yeah, but my wife she's a great lady.
My wife.
Duck. Mine Duck, interesting. West Point, the longest running post and home of the win, has torn down its George Washington statue. Just an empty slab. Generally gets yanked next. Of course, because, those who destroy their history are totally not going to repeat it.
Oh, they definitely repeating that shit.
Yep.
Fuck.
Thomas Delaney. We call those female officers in the Navy manatees. A 4 in port and an 8 underway.
That's fucking savage.
That is very savage. Michael Morgan, what is the point of putting low-quality, no-talent people in positions they're going to royally F up with all the diversity policies everywhere? They're easily
because we've been watching
controlled.
Hollywood for so many years.
They're easily controlled.
They're easily controlled. They know that they're not really there in a position of authority. That they, like Jean-Pierre, the new White House press secretary. She knows that she's not fit for the job. She's completely unqualified. She's in way over her head. She was hired because of the color of her skin, the fact that she has a vagine between her legs, and that she likes scarfing out other vagine. That's literally the only reason that she's there. And every single time she opens her mouth, she reveals just how adept she is.
Yep.
But she's easily controlled, and she will keep slinging the narrative as long as they let her.
Yep.
That's why. They want
She's
yes
slinging
men.
other things too.
Yeah, they want yes men and women, not quality men and women.
I gotcha.
Because
Did
quality
you
men
just
and
assume
women...
their genders?
Yes. Quality men and women ask questions. They want to know if what they are being expected to carry out is the best thing for the business, the country, what have you.
I gotcha. All right, what's the next one?
Why do you think they try to keep men down so much?
I know.
Because we're the ones who are going to stand up and call out the bullshit.
Oh, you bastard. You actually got me with that
Giggity.
one.
Yeah, I did. Jaffa on the bound. I used to be a battalion weapons demo, etc. instructor, E4. One of my former sergeants is now DI. I had to tell her how to do BRM over Messenger because she was ducking it up, and her only response was, "You still got it."
You know how many times I had to do that? Probably 100 times in my career.
Oh, I bet.
Mm-hmm.
All the time. Mickey Mishra. The more you love something, the faster they will destroy it. That's what I've seen. Same goes for the military.
Yep.
I'm not going to say you're wrong, brother.
Yeah.
And last but not least on YouTube, Shadow Tempest. I was separated in 2015 due to undue command influence, and a 304 of an ex-hooer who helped facilitate that by making my life a living hell.
It's unfortunate,
Damn.
but yeah.
Sounds all too familiar, doesn't it?
No, I've seen Command White Knight for these crazy bitches and throw people out on no evidence whatsoever. It's complete bullshit.
I mean, I've lost count of how many stories you've told me about Command siding with the military wife and not the person who actually serves.
Yeah, when I was at Fort Drum going through that GRAP investigation, and I went to the JAG on post. I'm waiting. And literally, women are coming in saying, "Hey, look, I'm filing for divorce. Can I talk to a JAG rep?" And they're like, well, the JAG can't help you. But here's a business card." They're handing out business cards to these women with preloaded with lawyers literally chomping at the bit to divorce these women from these soldiers. And most of the time when that happens, that soldier will get out.
Wow.
He's done with his
And
career.
he'll have to pay for it.
Yeah.
That is nuts.
It is.
That is absolutely nuts.
And it was infuriating.
It's fucked.
Wow. Well, ladies and germs, one last butt for you that's safe for YouTube. We're going to take a quick break as we jump over to new tech, and then we're going to read the really juicy stuff. We got some new cards from Airman Fitzwell that we're going to read for you. We got some Dinosaur 13 chats and some Fan I Am Instagram clips. You guys know you love those.
Yeah.
So refill the menagerie.
Let's
and
do
empty the
this.
Squirrel bladder. We'll see you in 5.
All right.